Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel.
I'ma do just what I want in the regular.
So as you can see, it's a story time, kind of, for today's video. Because as you can see, I am back home in Denmark. I am not on exchange anymore. And I thought a lot about making this video because I was not sure about making it. As you can hear, I'm not doing my video in Danish because I rather wanted people to understand what I went through and to hear about my story. So this won't happen to a further exchange student. So, like being said, I'm not gonna say any names in the story because it's a true life story and this is how everything actually went down and why I'm home and everything whatsoever. So, the family I was living with, they were a dysfunctional family. Not saying that they weren't nice to each other or they weren't like good on a daily basis like with everybody else, but it was so weird to be in a position where I felt like the whole family was split apart. So let's start from the beginning, like the very beginning of me arriving in Canada. So I arrived on August 14, 2018, and I arrived and I was so excited. We had 2 to 4 weeks. It went really well. And they started saying me, Caroline, you know, there's rules, there's everything. And I said, totally understand, I understand that. And then further on, there were more rules and everything, which is understandable. I have to live with a new family, they have to live with a new child. So I fully understand. I fully agree with all of that, and I can't complain about that. So I was like, you know what, it's fine, it is what it is. I just have to live with it, and it is what it is. Like, I can't do anything about it. It's a new family I'm gonna go into. So it all happened so fast. Like, family I was living with, they were treating me well, it was not that, but there were times where they took conflicts a really weird way. Like, they will be yelling, they will be screaming, they will be taking it so weird that I would stand there as a person saying, wow, what did I do wrong here? There were of course times where I did something wrong. Like, I'm not telling you that I was an angel, because I of course also did something wrong. I also crossed the line. But for me, it was just like, I did not know how to fit into this family. Keep in mind, I was in Canada, and it was the French part of Canada, so I had to learn a new language, which is a difficult thing to do when you're there for only a year. It usually takes up to a half year to learn a language fluently. So for me, now I know how to speak French, and that's cool, that's everything, like, it's amazing. But for me, it was hard to just speak French after 3 months, because I was not comfortable by speaking French. And again, saying as it is, like, I could definitely probably have worked harder on my French, no doubt about that, but I rather wanted to enjoy my exchange year. My family I was living with was trying to force me to start working. And keep in mind, I was not on a regular program like everybody else. Like, I'm a Canadian, so what we did was, like, we took, like, I was just living with my Canadian family. So I couldn't just switch families if something went wrong. So for me, it was really, like, I really had to, you know, figure out stuff here. Like, I weren't able to just switch, which was a bummer. It really was. So what happened was that time went by and it all went worse and worse and worse, but the father in the home kept telling my parents that I was overreacting, that I was overreacting all the time. And you know, as a naive kid, like everybody else would be like, of course, maybe I am overreacting because that's not the first time I've heard it. Maybe I am overreacting. But it was stuff that like I really was trying hard to, you know, figure out. Like there was times like with the phone up in the kitchen. It's a fair thing to do, and I forgot over and over again because it's not something I was used to. So for me, it was a new thing I have to, you know, adapt to. Plus, I had to adapt to a new family. I have to adapt to a new country and like a new language. So for me, there's a lot of things to adapt to. So I was talking to my mom about it. I was talking to a lot of people about it, and they were like, Caroline, how can you live in that? Because it was yelling a lot. It was like telling me, not that I wasn't good enough, but that I didn't do stuff good enough. And I was like, you know, I'm trying my best. I'm really trying my best. I'm not just making this all up just to have a lot of fun. That's not what I'm trying to do. And I feel like it was hard for both parts because we're two different people. Like, not that I'm saying that I'm Danish and they're Canadian, because I'm also Canadian, but two different cultures. Like, they're one culture and I'm my culture. So let that be. I then kept being who I am, and I kept doing the same stuff that I usually did, like trying to help along, doing stuff that I had to do. Like, let's say I had to do the dishes, like I have to help with the dishes, which is understandable, like it's fine. But having a dish look like this and telling me that every single time I come home from school I have to do that, like I have to clean the kitchen, I have to look in the kitchen. You know, you get tired when you aren't the one, you know, doing the kitchen things, or you didn't even take a plate that morning. So if you make a dish dirty, you clean it up by yourself because that's a responsibility you have for yourself and everybody else in the household. But that was not how it was in that household, which is fine. I have to, you know, adapt, and that is what it is. Like, I have to adapt to the new things. So like, I had a lot of friends, and I had a lot of good friends, and they were the reason why I stayed there for so long, and the reason why it made me so happy to be there. That was because of my friends, and because of my teachers. Like, school was really important to me, and my theater, and everything whatsoever. It was so important. Christmas went by, and like, everything went pretty well, until 1 week where it all just went down again. And I will give you an explanation about this whole week, because it went so wrong that nobody could actually make this up without being totally crazy. So what happened was, I think Sunday, Monday or Tuesday, I was on my computer for 1 hour longer than I was supposed to be on my computer. So I was on for like until 11. Like, it was from 10 we had to put our phones up in the kitchen, and 10 o'clock we have to go to sleep. But for me, I can't sleep at 10 o'clock. So I was on my computer for around like 11 o'clock. And the next morning I woke up and my SIM card was away. It was gone. My host dad took it away from me. It was my consequence. Like, do the crime, do your time. It went like a couple of days. Like it went from like, let's say it was like Monday. It went Tuesday, Wednesday without my SIM card. Thursday, I spoke to my little sister, like my sister and 10 years old, because she was the only one I trusted. Host little sister, sorry. And I said to her, you know, it's kind of funny because like I can still do stuff on my phone. I just can't text the people I need to text. So I think Wednesday was Valentine's Day. I was going to eat with my now ex-boyfriend. We were gonna go at his place, like eat a little bit and like just hang out, just, you know, have like a couple time, I don't know. And then I didn't have any internet, so I couldn't text my host parents and say where I was at, because I just couldn't. Like, it was impossible without a SIM card. Keep in mind, I was also the one paying for a SIM card, so they took away my SIM card from my phone. So again, it was weird. But it is what it is. It was a consequence. Like, it is what it is. So I couldn't text them. So I ended up, when I went to my ex-boyfriend's house, I was on the internet. I was texting my host family saying that, sorry, I weren't able to text you or to get in contact with you, but I do not have any SIM card, but I'm on the internet now. I'm at my ex-boyfriend's house and I'm eating there for the dinner. There was no reply back, which is fine, understandable. Like, probably they were eating, probably they were having like family time. I don't know. So we ate, like I ate there, I came back home, I went up to say, hey, good night, like I'm gonna go to bed. I was home before curfew because the curfew was 10 o'clock, so I was home around 9:45, so I was home. I went up, put my phone, went to bed, nothing there. The next day I wake up, I took my phone, I did my day. I still didn't get my SIM card, you know. We're around like Thursday, Friday now. And I'm pretty sure Friday. So I was like sitting in my room and I came up and I tried to be with the family. Like, I went up to be with the family, I went up to be together with them, and my host dad looked at me and said, you know, Caroline, a little birdie told me that you didn't care about your SIM card. That you don't care that you don't have it. And I said, well, you know, I do care because then I can contact you guys, like, to be in contact, but like I can't like do anything whatsoever without that. Like, there's nothing else of the use of it, like, except for 3G, and I already used that. And he was like, well, cheers to that, huh? And I was like, you know, that's a little bit weird, that's a little bit odd to say to, you know, a 17-year-old. I didn't care anymore. I just went down to my room. I didn't want to be in that room. Like, I felt like I was attacked. And I was like, you know what, maybe I'm not supposed to be in that room, and it's fine. Like, maybe they just want some time by themselves, like, it's fine. So Friday I went up eating, I helped with the dishes, I went back to bed. Like, Saturday I woke up and my host family was going to Quebec for shopping. I was asked 10 minutes before they had to leave, Caroline, do you want to come along? And I said, no thank you. I said, I probably maybe be going skiing today. If not, I will be staying home and I will bring my skis to the front door. He was like, okay, if you're going anywhere else, text me. I was like, I will. So I was like, you know, I'm gonna text my ex-boyfriend asking him if he's gonna work there and if he's working there today. And he was like, yeah, I'm working at the ski place. I was like, hey, can I come along? Then I can ski while you're working, and then like I can do something productive about my day. And he was like, yeah, it's fine. So I went skiing. And keep in mind, they were out of the house, so there was nobody in the house whatsoever. So I went skiing. I had a blast of a day. Like, I had such an amazing day. Like, it was so fun. Like, it was skiing by myself, and then suddenly my best friends came along and we're just skiing together, and suddenly like I just went away and nothing there happened. I came back home, it was around 4 o'clock. I called my cousin, like, because my cousin called me, so I called her, my cousin from Denmark. So I called her back and I said, hey, what's up? And we're talking and everything, and my ex-boyfriend left and was home alone. I was like, you know, it's fine, like, you can leave. And it was around 9 o'clock when my cousin left. So I was like sitting and watching something on the TV. I zoomed out. Like, I was like, okay, you know, it's fine. I don't have to think in French. I don't have to think about everything else. Like, I can just relax. And then around 11 o'clock, my host family came home. And when they came home, they were like in a really good mood. You know, I was like, hey, how was your day? Like, was it good? Was it nice? Like, what did you shop? Did you buy anything nice for yourself? Like, everything like that. Like, I just asked out because, like, it's polite to ask. So that's what I did. I just asked. And then they were like, yeah, it was fine. And then they went away. Fine. So I was laying on the couch and I was just done eating my popcorn. So I was laying on the couch and my host father came over to me saying, why didn't you tell me that you went out skiing? You know, I can see that you go other places than just home. You know, I know that. I have my sources. And I said, well, I told you I was going out skiing today. Like, I told you this morning. No, you said you might be going, and might be going is not, and it's not like you're going. And I said, well, you know, I think we misunderstood each other, because I meant that I was going and you understood something else. No, you're just not following the rules, you're not being a part of the family, you're not adapting, you're not talking French, you're always like not following the rules. You think you can rule everything by yourself because you're such a grown-up woman. You know what? You're not following the rules. You know, I can just send you down, help packing your bags and send you away, so I can drive you to the airport so you can tell your parents why you had to leave. And I was like, you know, that's a little bit odd. Like, I was so shook, and I said, maybe we misunderstood each other, because that is possible that we misunderstood each other. Yeah, but that still doesn't give you a reason why just to leave without texting me. And for me, I totally misunderstood everything. Like, I think we both misunderstood everything. Went down, and I was crying for 2 hours straight. I wanted to text my mother, but he cut the internet, so I weren't able to text my mother and anybody else. I weren't able to get out of the house whatsoever. I weren't able to do anything. So I was like, you know, what am I gonna do? So I was laying in my bed crying for like 1 hour first. I went upstairs to get some water because I was thirsty. So I put my luggage in my room, and I just sat in my room until 2 o'clock and cried. I couldn't get in contact with anyone or anything. Like, it was impossible. So I was like, you know, there's nothing I can do. There's nothing I'm able to do. And for me, I just have to get out of the house now. Like, I can't be here anymore. So the next day, I woke up around 6 o'clock. I went upstairs, grabbed my computer and my phone, didn't talk to my host family at all. I went downstairs to my room. I locked the door. Around 10 o'clock, the internet was turned on again. So I texted my mom. I said, I really need your help. You really have to help me here. I don't know what to do anymore. It's really serious now. And she said, okay. So she called me. And then my host father came down, knocked at my door, said, you better open that door so we can all talk together. So I said, then my mom said, you have to open the door. And I said, well, I don't want to, but you have to open the door, Caroline. So I opened the door, and he said, if you want to do this, you have to go upstairs. And he was yelling at me, and I was like, well, I don't want to go upstairs. And he said, you have to, because then we all can talk together so we can all get to know the real story and the real side and everything. And I was like, you know, okay, fine. Like, I don't care anymore. Fine, go upstairs. Like, I'm gonna be there in like a second. And I was so mad, and I was crying my eyes out, like really crying. Like, my eyes were all red afterwards. So we went upstairs, we started talking and everything, and it went really well talking, and it actually went pretty good. Like, it was not because it was bad whatsoever. I knew that there's always something wrong, but like, I can't do anything about it. I'm just a child. So what happened was that we were like talking about it until I have a small host sister on 10 and one on 15. So the one on 15 said to me, well, Caroline's just using me, Caroline's just that and that and that. Like, she was really just talking down to me. And if you want to believe that, it's fine. Like, but if you really get to know me, I'm not like that whatsoever. I'm not using anyone just for the fun of it. Like, not for the fun of it. I'm not using anyone whatsoever. So what happened was that I didn't know what to do, didn't know how to react. I said, that's not true. I never did that. And it was something about me getting my hair curled and my eyelash done, and like, I'm not the type of girl who likes people touching my face, touching my hair. Like, I'm not the type of girl who likes that. So for me, it was a shock that she thought that. And for me, it was just to have like some girl time with her. Like, it was not to have her to, it was not that she had to have the feeling that I used her, because I did not use her whatsoever. I simply just asked her to get some girl time. But you know, we all see life differently, and we all have different perspective, and that's like totally cool, because we're not all alike, and that's cool. Continuing that day, it went worse and worse. It went like my oldest host sister and my host parents, they were 3 against 1. And my mom looked at me and she said, "Caroline, do you want to go home now?" I said, "I want to go home now." So we planned out that I had to go home on the 4th of March. And we were in February, so it was still like a lot of time left. It was like right before spring break. Or no, sorry, March break. It was right before March break. So I still had like a few weeks left before I had to leave. So it was fine, it is what it is. Like, it was nice. It was what it was. And then throughout the day they said, like, the whole family except me said, "Hey, we're gonna go out for shopping," like not shopping but like grocery shopping. I said, yeah, that's fine, have fun. Also keep in mind that's the first time they told me where they were going for like a long time. They usually don't tell me where they're going. So I was like sitting home alone, and I was texting my ex-boyfriend saying, "Hey, can I come over, stay at your house tonight, because like too much drama here at house, like I can't deal with it right now, I just have to get away." And he was like, yeah, it's fine, you can come over at my house, like we can just chill, we can just relax, like nothing there. And I was like, thank you a lot. And I went there and I texted them before leaving and everything, saying, "Hey, I'm leaving now." I'm like, just to make sure that they knew where I was at. So I slept there from Sunday till Monday. And Monday I was just using my day at his house, and I told him that the plan was that I was supposed to be going home on 4th of March. And then Monday I texted my host family saying, because it was family day in Canada, so I said, "Hey, you know, is it okay if my ex-boyfriend can come over for eating?" And they said like, yeah, you know, now we're knowing like before time, like it's fine, like it's fine. And I said, okay, thank you. So we went over, and the moment we went inside the house, my host father took my ex-boyfriend and went for a car ride. And my older host sister looked at him and said, you don't do it now, like it's stupid to do it now, like don't do it now. And it was all in French because they thought that I didn't understand. But keep in mind, I've been there for 6 months now. I fully understand fluent French. I am also able to speak it. But it is what it is. So they were talking in French, like expecting me not to understand. So everything happened, and he went out for a car drive, and then my host mother came home, and I asked my host mother, why are my ex-boyfriend and my host father out for a ride? And she looked at me and she said, "Oh, I think they're just gonna talk about something, I don't know." And I said, okay. Then I texted my mother. I said, my ex-boyfriend is out for a car ride with my host father. And she was like, I'm like figuring out something. Suddenly my ex-boyfriend comes up by the door, like, so I can lock him in. I told my host mother, hey, I'm just gonna go downstairs, like switch pants, because like it's annoying to wear the pants I'm wearing right now. I took my boyfriend with me downstairs so I can ask him what he was talking about. And my host father unloaded on my ex-boyfriend, which is not fair. Like, it's not fine, it's not okay, like he does what he did. So I texted that to my mother, and I don't know what happened in the car because my host father and my parents were talking in the car. So I was downstairs changing, asking my ex-boyfriend everything about like what happened, why did it happen, what the fuck. And he was like, that was what happened and blah blah blah. And he went upstairs, and we went upstairs, and my host father came up and he said, your mother told me that I was a sick bastard. Why did she tell me that? Why did you tell her that I was that? And blah 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 blah. And just went on. And I said, I did not tell her that. I told her that you guys went out for a car ride. And I said, I'm able to translate that message that I sent. I'm not afraid of doing that. I just told that told my mom that you guys went out for a car ride and I did not know what you guys were talking about. And he went on like, well, your ex-boyfriend know that I didn't yell and I didn't scream at him or anything whatsoever. And he said, you have to call your mother right now so you can figure out what the heck was going on here. I was like, fine, I'm gonna call my mother because like I did not do anything wrong here. So I called my mother and I told her, what am I gonna do? And she said, you have to pack your bags. You have to pack a weekend bag, like a bag filled up with like a lot of pair of underwears, like 3 pairs of clothing, so you can have something for yourself. I said, okay, so that's what I have to pack. She said, yes, Caroline, you're not allowed to pack anything else, like just what you need right now. I said, fine, like I'm gonna go downstairs. I packed a bag and I said, why? She said, because somebody's gonna come pick you up. So I went downstairs, I packed a bag, I went upstairs again, and then I remembered I forgot something, so I went downstairs. I grabbed my passports and everything that I needed, like all my papers, all my paperwork and everything. I grabbed it, and then I took my flag, like my Canadian flag, where I had like a little pen with me, so people could write on it. And then like I was just like standing there and my host mother came up and said, where are you going? You're not allowed to go anywhere without telling me where you're going. And I looked at my mom saying in Danish, I'm not able to speak English right now, so I'm not gonna speak English. I don't know what she's talking about. And in the meantime, while I was packing, they were speaking French and like telling me like, oh, well, Caroline's and like they're not that nice to me there. Fair enough, I understand, like it was a really shitty situation we were in. So I stood there waiting until somebody came and picked me up. So I got picked up and I told my ex-boyfriend, come along. So he came along with me and we're just sitting in a car. I was telling the person who picked me up what happened and I was crying. I was crying so much. I said, I don't know what I did wrong. I don't know what am I gonna do wrong. Like, I'm probably gonna go home soon and everything. And my parents were up until 3 o'clock and they had to work and everything. And my dad said, we're gonna come pick you up. So I went to school Tuesday. And Tuesday I was so scared of going to school because I was like shaking all the time. I was like not feeling great or anything. And my dad said, Caroline, you have like some time at night Tuesday to go pack your stuff. And I said, okay, good. My ex-boyfriend had like a class like an hour before, like he had like a study period for the first class, so he was able to sleep in. So when he drove by where I lived, he said, your host father's truck is there. I don't know what to do or what to say. And I went, to fill up my car and it was his. And your stuff was in there. And I said, are you for real? And he said, yeah, I'm for real. All your stuff was in there. So they went through my stuff and they packed it all and they put it like in my current place. So I had all my stuff, which is fine. It was nice to have all my stuff. So I had to go through everything to make sure I had everything. So I ended up having everything except for like 2 things, but those 2 things didn't mind me at all. Like I didn't care about those 2 things, so that was fine. I then like I was in school. I was so scared. I was shaking the whole day. I called my parents. Like I put my old SIM card in, like my Danish SIM card, and I took out my Canadian one. I got it back like at the end of the conversation Sunday morning. So I put in my Danish SIM card and I was able to call my parents and say, hey, Dad and Dad's up, please help me. And like it was fine. It ended like how it's supposed to be ending it. And I came home to the place I now lived and I called my parents and my parents called me and we were just talking, we're just figuring things out, like everything. And then my mom told me that my dad and my grandfather are gonna come pick me up. I was like so shook, and I was not I was so surprised about it because I didn't expect it. So the 2 days after, the second day I only had like a half day, so I didn't come to school for like the first part of the school day, and the day after, and then at the end of the day I came to school, and the teachers came up to me and said, "Caroline, why weren't you in my classes?" And I said, "Sorry, there's like family problems at the moment. I have to get away." And I even told the principal, and the principal was like, "Whoa, okay, if there's anything, Caroline, you have to come to me." And I was like, yeah, I know. I didn't go to any parent except for my French teacher, which is the most support I've had for the whole, like, her and all my friends are the most support I've had throughout my whole year. So I came and talked to them, and I said, you know, I don't know what to do anymore. Like, I'm so confused. I'm like so mind blown. I don't know what to do, and I'm going home soon. So I sat there in my class the second day, and I just came back to say goodbye to the people I didn't have the chance to say goodbye to. And the 21st of February, my dad came and picked me up. Thursday, 21st. And then Friday, I was in New York the whole day, and Saturday I came home. My feet was on Danish ground again. It's weird to say that, like, everything happens so fast, and probably everything happens for a reason. But I feel like I want to share my story, so if anyone ever feels like their family is dysfunctional and you're not supposed to be there, move. Have the best year of your life. Like, don't be there if you don't feel comfortable being there. If you don't feel like you can be yourself, don't be there. Like, you're not going to be happy for the rest of your exchange here. And I know that for sure because I went through that. And I'm sorry, I'm tearing up because it's really making me uncomfortable and really not making me happy that whatever happened, because I had to leave. I had to leave my new life behind, and I was suddenly actually getting used to it, like getting used to my German friends, my Canadian friends, having to, you know, perform like a theater show, like prom, seeing my friends graduate. Like, I was so pumped about everything, and 1 through 3 everything was gone. So my whole advice for this video and for everybody on the further exchange students, please enjoy it. Please make sure that you are enjoying your year fully. And I want to tell you guys about my story because I feel like my story is, I'm not the first one and I'm probably not the last one, but I would like to prevent you guys or anyone else to go through this because it's not fun. It's not fun to come home to. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys for following up. There's still a few videos from my exchange that I'm going to be posting. I have like 2 or 3 videos that I would like to post. And thank you guys so much for watching. And I hope I see you guys in the next video. Bye.